I think some people have figured it out inherently.
I've never seen nothing like this before in my life.
Now viral videos show, for lack of a better term, a robot dog joining the human members of the NYPD's response to a domestic dispute inside a NYCHA building in Kips Bay Monday.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. It felt surreal.
Before we talk about this, you didn't know these Boston Dynamic dogs are rolling out all over the place. I mean, globally. Here they are in Singapore, and they remind people at the park to practice social distancing. In China, one company has a pack of them programmed to all move in unison, which looks totally terrifying, but they look a little less creepy, maybe, when they're all programmed to dance together.
That today, I believe we are on the cusp of the fourth industrial revolution, powered by billions of connected devices, 3D printers, and super smart robots, to name just a few. This revolution will not only change entire societies and economies, it stands to transform the very essence of human nature.
Fear. Fear really drives numbers. It does, you know. The happiest days in news, people, I would imagine, turn it off and when they go with the camera. They don't stay glued to it, you know? Unless there's something that's uniting them, like the moon landing or something like that. Fear is the thing that keeps you tuned in.
I think we're at a really important moment right now, which is the question of whether or not we are going to think about the changes the world is happening in terms of hope or in terms of fear. There's definitely rapid change going on, and every technology that's ever been invented has caused great fears.
And I'm also going to have a warning about what we've come to expect as normal could all be about to change.
Connectivity, data access is too important to keep it only to the world's rich. There are 4 billion people in the world who don't have access.
The CEOs of big tech giants have faced a grilling by lawmakers in Congress. The virtual hearing was focused on the rise of misinformation.
And when they get access, they are more highly educated, they have job opportunities, they have longer, healthier, more productive lives. And importantly, it's not just what they get from us because they can be connected to data, it's what we get from them.
I don't think anyone wants a world where you can only say things that private companies judge to be true.
And I think represents something truly profound in the world.
So you're saying it will reduce the divide, not increase the divide?
I think it does. I mean, certainly there are a lot of divides which are increasing, but if you look at the power of technology, and particularly social technology, it gives people voice, more equal voice than we've had before, and we've seen those impacts on the world. And so the only way we're going to make more data accessible and unleash all the potential that everyone here talked about is if it gets cheaper. And so everyone on the stage, I think, is working on it in their own way, and there have to be lots of different approaches to connect 60% more of the world. We have a project we call internet.org, which tries to provide free data in different places.
To make this incredible future happen as quickly as possible.
And Cheryl, I would have loved a question from a woman, but I will end with the voice of a woman.
Inclusion. An internet that connects everyone, that's accessible to everyone.
There's no such thing as unbiased news. There's too many agendas.
So were we surprised when media leaders like Axios' Felix Solomon sends us out this warning when he said, trust in traditional media has declined to an all-time low?
Now, we all know that institutions, particularly here in this country, occupy an important place in our society. As such, they're expected to act with integrity and basic decency toward the people that rely on them. Now, broadcast news media once belonged in that category. It was trusted, it was honourable, it was straight up and down the line in reporting the facts.
Why does it matter, he asks? Faith in society's central institutions, especially the government and the media, is the glue that holds society together, and that glue was visibly dissolving a decade ago.
It covered the important stories that we all need to know, and we had confidence in what they were telling us. But slowly, most of them have now dumped hard news in favour of pop culture reporting. But some have sunk into even actually deceiving viewers.
Perhaps you can introduce the book, its themes, and tell us what the objectives are for the Great Reset.
You replace it with something new. We might call it a Great Reset, but you don't reset the table. You basically clear the table and put a whole new set of figures on the table. So you're playing checkers, they push all the checkers off, and they put chessmen on the table. They've reset the table, but it's a totally different table, totally different game, totally different dynamics and circumstances. There's a lot of conjectures that go out, and over the leading up to the election, you and I were feeded with all sorts of conjectures that were put forth as being absolute truth and fact. And people ask me what I thought about it. It says, until I can give some attribution and say, I know this for sure, I'm not going to go around promoting this stuff because I don't know. I don't see anything, and I don't read anything they write that tells me anything for certain other than the fact that they have secret inside knowledge of what's going on. And there's a danger for you and me because we invalidate the authority of our words when we buy into ideas that don't have proof behind them. That's my caution to you. My caution to you is that when you run with these things that you read on the internet, take the time to see if you can validate them by other sources.
That it will have a changing effect, changing on economies, societies.
When I saw these dogs, I was like, that reminds me of what ended up being my favorite episode. It's a very like post-apocalyptic, like they took over the world and they're unkillable and it kills the last person. And now we're seeing it on DBL. So that's great, Jeff.